Welcome to the Life of Joey Calvo podcast. I'm Joey Calvo. Our podcast is part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,100 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at https://worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise to the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Today, our guest is somewhat well famous to me. I reached out to him to try to get my first home, and unfortunately it failed due to not the credit, but other issues within the credit. But I'm not blaming him for that. Of course, they have to have their strategy they have to work with and within their guidelines. But he has a YouTube channel. He has a mortgage company. He's helped others with other types of loans other than mortgage. And he is the one and only Angelo Christian. Angelo, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it looks like you're in a pretty nice home now. So you play piano? You there, Joey?
It's on live stream. Okay.
Your live stream.
Angelo, I apologize. Yeah, I have T-Mobile, and the live stream's not the greatest.
No problem. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah. So, what? No, I didn't.
Oh, I said it looks like you're in a nice house now.
Yeah. Oh. Actually, it's a green screen.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, I live in a rooming house.
Piano. I was like, who's playing piano back there?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't play piano. It's one of the little things inside the platform I use. So, Angelo, how did you get started? What led you to where you're at right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you, and Joey, thank you for having me on the show. And very privileged and honored to have you invite me, and it means a lot to me. So in regards to how I got started, I went to college for finance, economics, and I grew up very poor here in Houston, Texas. Didn't really have money. Came from a impoverished family. My mother was a waitress at Olive Garden. My father left the picture when I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
So I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that I wanted to get out of poverty. And I started to study success and really successful people that did things that, extraordinary things in our history, in our lifetime, whether it was, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. And so that led me to, the inspiration because I dropped out of school to take care of my family. And so that inspired me to go back into school and, learn about business, learn about finance. And so I attended University of Houston and got educated in finance and economics. And I had a very good friend of mine that was in the mortgage business at that time. And he was doing extremely well. And I didn't know what mortgage was. I didn't even know what it was. I was 20 years old. And he said, "Hey man, I'm over here. I'm doing really good. Come over here and work with me." So I went to go to work for AmeriQuest Mortgage Company in 2005. And at that time, that was the biggest, subprime lender in America.
Yeah.
And I learned the business about what mortgage was. And so really got a very good understanding of, what the whole process is, how to pre-approve people, refinance, cash out, all of that stuff. So that's how I got started and kind of the inspiration and motivation behind it.
Okay. And so now you have your own business, Angelo Christian Financial. You have a YouTube channel. And like I said in the beginning, he made an attempt. I came to him because of he was able to work with credit scores as low as 500, And I'm trying to move out of Philadelphia I was looking into a decent place in New Jersey, and unfortunately, I mean, it wasn't the credit. Like I said, it wasn't the credit scores that killed me. It was because of the debt I had, and so your representative suggested, pay off the debt a little bit and boost the scores up a little bit. But what I wind up doing is I actually wind up getting another credit card recently, and I actually started paying off this credit card even before the first bill was due.
Okay.
So we're working on the credit that way. At the same time, I was trying to do a casino bus service, which I'm still working on. I've been working on that for 25 years now.
Casino bus service?
Yeah. What it is it's like it's Greyhound, but it doesn't take you to. It takes you to the casinos instead of like Washington D.C. And the customers would get slot play for being on the bus, or if it's a charter, they get the pack, whatever the package is. And that's something I've been working on. And right now, with those credit scores where they're at right now, and I will say they all went down in the 500s. At the time I came to you, some of them were in the 6s.
Okay.
And what happened was they fell back into the 5s. But what I try to figure out is, and maybe you can give me a better explanation on why this is happening. When I came to your representatives, I actually used like a My Score Now, and they were showing the 6s. But when your representatives go to look, they didn't see the same thing I saw.
Yeah.
And that I'm not saying, I'm not, like you said, I can't, it's how, it's how your company works. But
yeah.
But can you explain in reference to that?
Well, yeah. So one of the things that I think is important, that when you have an online credit score, if that's what you're using, the lender has their own credit that they have to pull. When you get a mortgage from a lender, you have to go by the lender's credit report. So if you use MyFICO, you use Experian, you use Credit Karma, that stuff the lender can't accept that. And those scores are unfortunately going to be different. Okay. So if yours said 620 or whatever, and then the lenders came back at 510, the stuff that's online doesn't report accurately or correctly.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
So the one thing is, like you said, though, how we became famous is because we get deals solved and people funded that most lenders can't. Like you said, we go down to a 500 credit score. We help with credit boosting for our clients. We have closing cost assistance, down payment assistance. So we really have the widest buffet of product on how to, in the market. That's why so many people call us, because a lot of lenders, as you know, if you're not squeaky clean, 800 credit, 20% down, they don't even want to deal with you, man. And that's really the truth, especially in Philly.
Oh, yeah. Because what I was gonna do is, once I got approved for a mortgage, I was gonna apply for like the closing cost assistance and so on. But of course they wanted a 620 or 680 score, and my scores at the time, like I said, wouldn't have reached it.
Well, with the down payment assistance, you do need a 620 score. That's correct.
Yeah. So with that would have been the hardest, and everybody goes by the middle credit score. Now, like I mentioned, also you have a YouTube channel, and you actually, I didn't see the video yet, but enlighten me about, you got ripped off actually on your own.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to, yeah. So I did a video on that just to kind of, put it out there to be very careful with when you're dealing with financial organizations, that you need to be really careful that you're not getting ripped off. There's a lot of scams out there where obviously stealing your identity, taking money from you and disappearing. So you obviously need to make sure whoever you're dealing with, that they're licensed, that you look them up. They need to be legit. I mean, you need to make sure that they have an active website, a physical location, because you can get ripped off, unfortunately. And, I don't want that to happen to anybody. And I'm seeing a lot more, it seems, in the last year. I don't know why, but there's been like a lot of phony real estate brokers, agents, lenders, all kinds of crap. And you just need to be really careful and just make sure that, whoever you're dealing with, that they're legit, because it's your finances, it's your credit. So that's the reason, purpose for the video. Because I haven't seen it like this since like 2008. There's just been so much crap out there with fraud and scams. So that's the reason. And then as far as my own experience, I've just been involved with situations where, people will take a deposit to get started on something, and then they'll disappear. So I'll give them a deposit to start, working on a project, whether it's for a IT project or it's, it could be for a loan or construction or investment property, and then they'll disappear. So my suggestion is that if you're going to be giving somebody a deposit for whatever job, that everything's clearly documented and that it's managed through a third party, like an escrow company. So in case something goes wrong, you can get, kind of like PayPal. That's why PayPal's there, right? Yeah. So if there's something goes wrong and you get screwed, you can get, or eBay, you can get your money back. I would not recommend just, paying someone a wire or doing Cash App or Venmo. I think that you need to be very careful. And of course, there's a lot of good people out there too. There's a lot of good companies, and I'm not trying to dismiss that. I'm just saying to be mindful of this.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I came to you because you were well famous and, seeing it on YouTube and everywhere else. And I'm still looking for a business loan. So,
cool.
Your people, can always reach back out to me if they're able to on it. My credit scores, like I said, did falter into the fives, like low to mid fives. But I mean, like I said, this new personal credit card, it's only got a $300 limit. But I've been, like I said, it hasn't even gotten the first month that I've paid it off almost practically twice.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm making those adjustments, and at the same time, like, thinking about getting this casino bus service started, because there's some used buses I'm looking at, and there's storefronts I'm looking to rent, and so on. So, I'm giving you first.
I'd love to be a part of it, man.
Yeah.
We do business loans. We do working capital loans. We do SBA. We do lines of credit for businesses, startup businesses too.
Yeah. I mean, I've been incorporated really since 2014 on it, but never got it off the ground because I didn't have the finances to get everything I need. So, I mean, I have a business plan done, but it's so old, and we'll just say it this way. It's not like the type of business plan you would want to see today. Most of the business plans that people want to see, they want to see like all this. Mine's like a decent, like, general. Okay, this is what I want. This is what it's for. This is what it's broken down to. It's not giving a 5-year plan. Well, actually, it says, I do say within 5 years it would be paid off and all that. So that, like I said, and the buses I'm looking at, were out on the West Coast, and they were going for like 30, almost 40,000 each. That was including the transportation and the taxes and everything when it came out to like 90,000 for the two that I'm looking at.
Okay.
And they were MCI motor coaches with wheelchair accessibility.
Okay.
But we're going to get back off the business and back into the real estate. Now, I know the market. Let's talk about the market today. How where the market stands right now.
Yeah. We're in an election year, and usually when that happens, as we get closer to the end of the year, rates will start to trickle down. We've seen rates come down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for the most part, property values are still, it depends on where you're at, I think are somewhat, in some areas, really inflated, and then some areas are still reasonable.
Yeah.
I think the interest rates they're too high. Right now, I think that they need to come down at least to 1% or 2%.
Yeah.
For me, a 30-year fixed mortgage, if it's sat at 5%, would be more reasonable. People paying 7-8% for a mortgage, and especially with inflation where it's at. I mean, everything has just gone up out of whack. I mean, the food prices are insane, gas prices are insane.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't. It's not really a practical situation for the long term. So it's been okay as far as the mortgage. I think next year is going to be really good for real estate and mortgage, provided that the market accommodates. And so that's my thinking. It's okay right now. We're doing okay. We're not doing gangbusters. We're keeping the lights on.
Right. Like Motel 6.
Yeah, like Motel 6. So, of course, we want it busier. It's just it is a tough market, man, and there's no denying that.
Now, with your business, within your business, where have you seen the most business really coming from?
Yeah, good question.
In reference to market region.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like what states?
Like what market areas have been where you've gotten more deals done?
So right now we're seeing the most business from entrepreneurs, investors, buying rental properties, refinancing, cash out, hard money, commercial properties. That's still a really strong segment and doing really good. The first time buyer seems to be the one that's gotten pinched the most and struggling because wages are kind of flat, and then prices are out of insane, and then interest rates are very high. But the biggest market for us right now is business owners that are either wanting to buy a house or buy a rental property, or they want to buy a commercial property.
Okay.
So that's our strongest customer.
Okay. Now, in reference to going back towards like when I was actually asking more would like I said, like where I am in Philadelphia or in the Midwest or down by Houston or out in California, those where do you?
Oh yeah. So more so in the Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah, or East Coast.
Yeah.
We do a lot of business in Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
Georgia, the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And then we do get a lot of stuff in Jersey.
Okay.
We don't really get a lot of stuff in Pennsylvania. But we do get a lot of stuff in Michigan.
Okay.
A lot of stuff in New York. That type of thing.
Okay.
So, but our hottest markets are going to be the Southwest.
is going to be the South. So if someone came to you and said, I found this house in Texas, they should. I mean, depending on how their credit is and their circumstances, I mean, they should be able. I mean, that would be one of the hottest markets for that.
So we lend nationwide. So so it doesn't matter to us where the person's at. Just so you know, we lend in all 50 states. So it doesn't. You could be in Hawaii or you could be in Delaware.
Yeah.
But you're asking where most of the business is coming from. Yeah, that's where it's coming from.
Yeah. But like I said, if anybody came to you now, they're like, they asked the same question I just asked about, where the hottest area would be. So it'd be more the Southwest. Okay. And you said that by next year, after this election year, that the interest rates and hopefully the market will stable itself out, and, to where everything will be in a comfortable direction. Now
I'm
you also, and then you just did a video also. Like I said, because I actually subscribe to his channel. Just to let you know, folks, I subscribe to his channel. So
thank you.
I get to see the titles of his videos, and he's got one upcoming about how mortgage closing costs are too high. So explain a little bit more on that.
Yeah. So the idea behind that was, the thing is that when you're getting a loan to buy a house, you have obviously most loans have a down payment, they have closing costs, and a lot of people, they don't have the money to be able to put the down payment and the closing costs. Can get very expensive. So we have a product that will give you down payment and closing cost assistance to help you to be able to purchase the home. So, if you're buying it, let's say you're buying a $300,000 house and the closing costs are 6%, that's $18,000.
Right.
Then, a lot of people struggle to be able to come up with that.
Yeah.
So this product gives you the closing cost assistance to be able to purchase the home and then get those closing costs included into the loan so you don't have to pay out of pocket for it. Right.
Okay. And like also in reference to, so say for example, like I said, I found a house in New Jersey. I get approved for a $300,000 mortgage. So the actual mortgage would be for $318,000.
In that example, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you put the closing costs into the loan, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And the same thing in reference to the now. Another thing that I really wanted to question, and I and maybe more of a clarification. Like there was at the time that I went to your representatives, I was looking at some mobile homes because at the time that was what I could afford in reference to mortgage wise. And some of them did need some work. Is there a way, like saying I needed to put $5,000 worth of work into a $50,000 mobile home, and of course adding the closing costs. So we'll say 53. So we'll say 58,000.
Okay.
I add the expense for the renovation, I'll call it, to the mortgage.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, your representatives almost couldn't tell me that. Just to let you know. Well, that's because most of actually, really, I didn't say it only because some of them were already in good shape, you know.
Okay.
But there were some that needed a lot of work, and I was like, don't want to put too much more in. Oh, no. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I was going to do. And this is what I had asked them. What I wanted to do was add maybe I could use it in reference to the renovation. Like, what I was trying to do was, instead of, putting out a pocket for furniture if I needed it, like adding furniture.
Yeah, that they won't let you do that. No, not furniture. Anything you get that's with the mortgage loan has to be permanently affixed to the house.
Okay, so more the renovation than the furniture inside. Okay,
right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if I have any more questions. I mean, so. And you do nationwide, and like you said, you were.
Yeah, we do commercial, residential, and hard money lending. That's right.
Yeah. Well, now you got to get back to your representatives about what I just told you about the casino bus.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah. So I'll email you.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, in reference to that, because what I'm trying, and I can explain it really quick. Like I said, I actually started the business. I actually incorporated the business in Pennsylvania in 2014. I got a tax ID number. Got all that in 2014. So that part's not the problem. I just started changing things over to where I'm not using my cell phone as a business number. I'm not using my home address as a business address. So what I'm trying to do now is, there is still some licensing I need to complete that I can't afford right now. And so the licensing alone was like, and I'm estimating about $4,000. That's the U.S. That's the U.S. DOT number. That's the Pennsylvania PUC number. That's incorporated in New Jersey as well. Some working capital in reference to hiring, doing payroll and so on. And then the buses itself, like I said, there was at least two, but there's others. And what I'm trying to do is a 5-year loan on it. And like I said, the buses alone, matter of fact, I forgot. I have them right here. So I'm going to put this up on the screen here. If you can, of course, you won't be able to see it. Because of the. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Because of the background, it won't let me show it. But what is it's a 2006 MCI D4505. It's a 55 passenger. It's got the wheelchair accessibility.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that one goes for $40,000.
Okay.
And it has 956,000 miles on it. The other one is a 2004. It's a 53 passenger. It's a D4500, almost the same type bus. Practically is the same type bus. And the odometer is a little off on it, but it's between 750,000 and 800,000 miles on it. That one is 34,000. 35,000. So, and then there's two storefronts I'm looking at. One is here in Philadelphia, and then the other one is in Willingboro, New Jersey.
Okay.
Where like I said, closer to where I work. As you can tell, I work for Amazon. That's my part-time. So when I came to you, that's what I went with. So, and like I said, this is something I've been doing for years, off and on. And but the storefronts, the licensing, a little, making sure I had the furniture,
Yeah.
The seating, every piece of machinery, or not every piece of machinery, registers, ticket system, everything. So altogether, as I was pricing it, was a little over 100,000, including the insurance on the buses. But in reference to the buses, I would have put 25% down on it, which would have came to like 25,000 alone on that, and then the insurance on that I think was another 25,000 right there. So there's 50,000 right there, and then like another 12,000 each on the two properties, storefront rental was. So I was looking at altogether. I'm estimating. I've been saying 50,000 to at least get off the ground.
Okay.
But I'm looking more at 100,000, and I know it. Like I said, with my scores that I mentioned earlier, being in the low to mid fives, that I know that's a little bit difficult.
Well, I want to see what I can do. Let me work on it. Send me over the file that I can work on putting together. I think that so yeah, let's see. I'm happy to help you and all your viewers, and I appreciate you, hopping on the show with me today. And if anyone wants to reach us, you guys can call or text us at 832-431-6331, or you can go to our website, official Angelo Christian, or on our social media. You see our social media, Angelo Christian Mortgage, on YouTube, Instagram. Please reach out to us. And yeah, Joey, I really appreciate you having me on the show today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity on the first, for the at least with the home mortgage thing, and hopefully, like I said, with this, what I'll do is I'll take a picture of the buses and I'll send them to you, so that way you have an idea of what I'm looking at. There's a couple companies I've been looking at. I've been looking at MCI itself. I was looking at Prevost. Prevost is the ones that you like, where Greyhound has most of their buses out of. ABC, which is the Van Hools, which FlixBus, which bought Greyhound, has their buses out of. Use most of their buses out of. So I've been looking at different places in reference to different buses. Some of them, of course, were not ADA accessible, but I want to get the I want to get the wheelchair list because, when doing the charters and all that, and we have a casino that's already that wants to work with me already. So I've got all that lined up. It's just the physical, financial, brick and mortar part. I had another guest on here a couple months ago. Her name was Sacha Awa, and she told me actually start with doing it remote, and having laundromats or supermarkets sell the bus tickets and so on. And I was kind of okay with the idea, but then I would have to slice off some of the profit to pay them for selling them. So
let's think. Yeah, let's see what we can do after we get off of this. Send it over to me, and I'll have my team work on it, man. So no, I appreciate you for doing this today, and I wish you the best, and for having me on the show, and all the fans and viewers. Like I said, if you need help with funding, give us a call or text us. 832-431-6331.
Yeah, definitely reach out. He does nationwide. His associates were great with me in reference to explaining step by step in reference to why I couldn't get the home mortgage, but at least I kind of had the idea. I was I kept thinking, oh, my credit scores were not the greatest and all that, but Angelo did everything possible. His representatives did everything possible to try to do that. Matter of fact, I have friends on Facebook that are actual real estate agents. So I may even reach out to them and say, hey, you know, you want to try to get, you know, your home sales up, go to this guy, you know. So I have no problem plugging you on in reference to that.
Please.
Yeah, because like I said, you were a great help in reference to it, and like I said, in reference to this project, I definitely. This is something I've been like I said, I worked on it for 20 years. My health is not the greatest anymore, and I'm kind of walking around an Amazon warehouse left and right. It kind of gets tiring, and it takes a lot out of me. So, Angela, thank you so much
for
good
coming
on the podcast. Yeah, and everybody, like I said, check out Angelo on YouTube, on social media. Text him directly. His number is
832-431-6331.
Yep. And you can always text him. He will answer right away, even on a Saturday when I did this. When I went to him on a Saturday. We talked for a little bit on this. And, he like I said, his team did the best possible. And definitely, like I said, he's nationwide. So if you have a business like I'm working on, besides trying to move the hell out of Philadelphia, matter of fact, I was even looking at land. There was some land I was looking at too, in reference to it. And unfortunately, with the land thing, it was something different. You had to, you couldn't. It was hard to do a mortgage on that type thing. Because
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. I mean, this has been great. I want to help you to get it done, and I appreciate you guys for having me on the show. Thank you all. Joey, nice to meet you, man, and good working with you.
Yep.
And we'll be back again next time, man.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Joey Calvo podcast. God bless you all. All right. Bye now.
Bye.
All right.